Chevrolet says the all-new 2024 Colorado ZR2 Bison is the most capable off-road pickup that they've created yet. I want to put it to the test right here in the California desert. This is Johnson Valley. This is where King of the Hammers trails are, some of the most gnarliest, rockiest terrain and also desert terrain available in the western US. So let's put the new ZR2 Bison Colorado to the test right here, right now. This event is very special because we were invited here by Chevrolet and we're in Johnson Valley and we're starting on a pretty well-known trail here called Short Bus. I've never driven this trail before. This is my first time here, which is another reason why Onyx Off-Road Maps comes in very handy because I can track where I am and I kind of know the route already. I can look at my map. But what I'm trying to do here in this video is to test all aspects of the new Colorado ZR2 Bison. And in previous generation, the Colorado Bison still existed. This was several years ago when they introduced it in the previous generation of the truck. And really that was about skid plates, bumpers, special off-road protection. But it had basically the same tires, same suspension setup for the most part, as far as height is concerned. For this generation of the Bison, for 2024, they went all out. It's even taller than before. It's got basically 35s, really wide tires, 315mm cross section, and hydraulic bump stops, and of course still the protection of the skid plates and all the bumpers is still there, and still dual lockers are available. But this truck stands apart from the standard ZR2 in a bigger way than it ever has before. And right now I'm in 4 low, crawling up this very really loose and rocky section of Short Bus. I'm not engaging my lockers yet because I want to see what traction these tires are providing on this surface. And these are Goodyear Territory MTs. Which I've used on other trucks before, but this is a really large tire. And the Chevy team has aired down these tires to 21 psi, about 20 psi. So I should have a lot of really great traction. Alright, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster. Oh, I see. So my traction control system is coming into play and it's trying to redistribute the power because I'm not using the mechanical locker system. So either way, I am having the computer kind of help me out. Maybe I should stop doing that and maybe I should engage at least my rear locker. Let me do that. Because the traction control system, it will brake the wheel that's spinning, but it's using brakes. So if you do this often, if you run trails all the time, you're really kind of a little bit overusing your brakes and you will have to replace them a little bit sooner than normal. My camera system, I have 360-degree cameras. And I also have underbody cameras as well. And here we are dropping down into the abyss. What really differentiates the Bison ZR2 Colorado from the regular ZR2 is really the suspension height, but also the front bumper and rear bumper. Here in the front, it's sculpted. This is an AEV part. It's steel, and it offers about 38.2 degrees of approach, which is crazy good. This center section is able to accept a winch. This truck is currently not equipped with it. This scratch on the bumper is not mine. Somebody else did that. It's not the class-leading approach angle. The Jeep Gladiator Rubicon has a little bit better approach. But when you're near 40 degrees of this angle, you know you're in the rarefied air. And that's a really good number because you can try to crawl over pretty much any rock you approach. For the first time ever, when talking about the 2024 Colorado ZR2 Bison, it stands way above the standard ZR2, and these are two of the reasons for it. Here is a hydraulic bump stop, that's what I call it, for the front of the truck. And here's a hydraulic bump stop for the rear. It just adds capability, because if you're going through undulating terrain and you're coming down hard on something, these devices will soften the blow and also give you additional control, so your truck doesn't get upset and all bumped up out of shape. So it's really cool to see them. They're relatively lightweight, and there's 2 of these in the front and 2 of these in the rear. This truck has hill descent mode as well, so I can try to use that, but I'm also...
For this downhill, feel free to exercise one pedal, driving in terrain mode. Getting into, get shift over to L, you can use the plus or minus on the shifter to utilize L1, L2, and L3 for varying levels of braking for the vehicle.
So you have a couple of options here. You have hill descent control or one pedal driving, which is terrain mode. There's also Baja Mode, of course, that I'm not really using right now because we're not moving very, very fast. All right, so there's a little bit more challenging place here at Short Bus, and this terrain I think requires a spotter, and there's a lot of loose rocks. I love this view, especially to the front tires, because I can see the distances between my tires, my wheels, and the rocks around me. Because yes, the tires has sidewall protection, but I still don't want to scratch that expensive AEV wheel. So that's kind of the difference. So I've got Tim Demetrio, one of the development engineers, is talking to me. Sorry, it's a little bit of a tense moment. I wanna be able to listen to Tim. I'm listening.
You're great.
I think my butt is in the air. There's a big boulder on my right, so we're trying to kind of go around it. Am I doing okay?
Yeah, perfect. Straighten up. You're gonna drop on the front left here, and then you got it from there.
Okay, I'm going easy.
Good work.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
So even with all the cameras, right, it's helpful to have a spotter. And it's, so we always say at TFL, you either go out with 2 vehicles or multiple vehicles, of course, when you're doing some of this stuff, or at least having 2 or more people in one vehicle, because another person can get out, help you along the way. If you get stuck, another vehicle could help out. So it's quite important to be with other people. But I didn't touch anything, so Tim really, he got me into a path to clear all these obstacles, so I had the right clearances, really, to not even need my skid plates. For any factory off-road pickup truck or SUV, the breakover angle is one of the more difficult items, because it depends on how much wheelbase you have, how much ground clearance you have, and in this case it's a really good number, about 26 degrees, which is one of the class-leading specs on this particular pickup truck. It still has a 131-inch wheelbase, so the fact that they were able to tuck up those skid plates really up high, I think, is a testament to their engineering. The departure angle is also really great on the ZR2 Bison. It's 26.9 degrees, it's almost 27. This is really hard to do because you also have the hitch This is a 2-inch receiver. And of course, this is an AEV steel bumper. And they did something else. Here on the corners, there is a separate plate here that could be replaceable. So it's a little bit of a modular design. And as you can tell, a lot of these are scratched up because no matter how good your departure angle is, it's inevitable. If you're rock crawling, you're gonna hit something here. If you're off camber, flexing over something. So the fact that you can replace partial or little parts on this bumper, I think is really important. On this journey, we're testing really 2 aspects: slow speed rock crawling and also fast speed desert handling. So you'll see both aspects of this truck. I'm exercising my skid plates. And really actually pushing my tire near its limit, because you also want to be careful. If there's a sharp ledge or a rock, you can, you know, basically put a gash in your tire and then you are changing a tire. Or if you're running out, if you use your spare, you have no tire. So it's not like you're driving a tank and you're just driving through the obstacle with disregard. You're still picking a line. I have a really great digital cluster, gauge cluster, and right now I'm in 4-low and dual lockers. So the front is locked, rear is locked. Because I have that tool in my toolkit. Whoa, this Boulder Field is insane. Holy mother. Look up there. Okay, it's getting rockier and sandier. And so I think I need momentum here. Even with every tool, I still need momentum. Whoa! I do have rocker protectors. I have no spotter here. Yeah, I cleared it just by a millimeter. One of the issues is kind of visual memory. So because the hood is still quite tall, like every pickup truck would be, I forgot what's in front of me because I was looking at Jake just for a second. So I didn't take a mental picture of the terrain. Thanks, man. Thanks, Jake. A lot of this area we're in is also used by King of the Hammers off-road racing, which is the most extreme type of off-road racing, at least here in the West. Ultra 4 class is here. I mean, not running the exact same areas, but this is quite challenging. I am 18 degrees side tilt.
Got. Okay.
20 degrees side tilt.
Go and go.
21 degrees side tilt.
Nicely done.
Thank you. It's a little bit unnerving when you're really on either side of you, no matter what. I know the vehicle is capable of it, but it's still a little bit unnerving. I understand this is a mid-size class of pickup truck. The gross vehicle weight rating for this truck is set at 7,350 pounds. But all the equipment that they added to this from the factory, AEV components, bigger tires, etc., increase the curb weight. The curb weight of this truck is 5,400 pounds and payload is 944 pounds. So if you're using this truck I'm a little hung up. I'm sorry, I said the wrong gross vehicle weight number when I was driving. It is 6,350 pounds, not 7,350. Sorry about that. But the payload is still 944 pounds, which is not a lot for any pickup truck. So if you put 4 bodies, you know, I weigh, what, 235 on a good day? Kind of chunky. If I put 4 of me in here, plus some gear, I'm already close to the maximum payload of this vehicle. So you have to keep that in mind. If you're traveling just the 2 of you, and then maybe you have a tent system set up on the back here for camping, that will work just fine. But don't expect to load this up with 5 people, tow a trailer, put something on top of it. That's not what this truck is about. It's about a little bit more faster pace off-road and also ability to navigate tight trails. So the other interesting thing that I want to mention about the ZR2 Colorado Bison is that it's still using a leaf rear spring design. So it didn't go to coil sprung multi-link system that some of the competitors have done on their either mid-size pickup trucks or full-size pickup trucks. I think it's just a decision Chevrolet team made, but I think it's fair to say that the competitors have proven that the coil sprung rear end, it can be a little bit more stable and a little bit more compliant on an off-road high-performance vehicle. So this is quite an interesting thing. And is it good or bad? Well, I would have to run the same competitive truck over the same terrain to know and tell you, and I can't do that right now. There. So the beauty of the Boron steel skid plates, what is that? Is it just a fun name that you could say and be fancy? Well, it's an alloy of steel. It allows the steel to be hot stamped. So AEV, what they do is they have special equipment in their factory to...
Front lockers. It's on?
Yes. Julio is now... Thanks, Julio. He's now helping me out.
Andrea, still momentum now. A little bit.
He wants me to use momentum. Thanks, man. Thanks, Julio.
Thank you. Keep a little to your right.
Okay. I see it.
Right at that one, you cut to the left.
So to finish my statement about Boron steel skid plates, they go into this press hot, and after they get stamped, they're quite thin. They're about 3 millimeters thick. But what it allows it to be is to be very strong and resilient, and also have memory. So even if you put a lot of pressure trying to dent it, it should spring back into its original position. And so what it allows GM to do is, and AEV to do, is it allows them to don't add a lot of weight comparatively to the truck, but still have a lot of strength. Still have a lot of strength. Now the entire GM corporate team is watching me drive. No pressure. Under the hood is a 4-cylinder turbocharged high-output engine. They also call it in the Silverado lineup Turbo Max. I think it's a cool name. I love this power plant. But in this ZR2 Bison, very special high-performance truck, it's still rated the same as in my Trail Boss, for example, with a high-output version, or a regular ZR2, which is 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. I think the torque number is amazing for a mid-size truck. I wouldn't touch that, but horsepower 310, okay, it's good, but it doesn't differentiate the Bison from the other trucks. I wish they would have stepped up the horsepower a little bit. I know it's nitpicking here. This power is good on this truck, but I want that extra punch. I'm buying a high performance truck. All right, I'm in Baja mode. I've got 4-wheel drive high. That means my traction control and dynamic stability control systems are a little bit relaxed, and I want to see what kind of speed this truck can generate. Wow, I can go so quickly. That was 50 miles an hour, and I feel like I can go way faster in this wash. This is, you know, now you have to make sure that your skill level is up to speed and you're not overdriving the truck beyond what your skill level is doing. I'm not hitting a lot of whoops or enough whoops in order to really engage my hydraulic bump stops. Right now there's just chatter, but what important is with this chatter, this washboard, you know, I'm going about 50 miles an hour and I want predictable handling. Wow, this is just swallowing up everything. If I had more distance here and more scale, I could keep going way faster. So they really created this Colorado ZR2 Bison and made it next level, which I appreciate, because I knew when I drove the previous generation ZR2 Colorado Bison truck, I knew it was super capable. It just didn't have quite as much ground clearance from the factory, and they completely solved it here. I couldn't believe the rock fields we were crawling over in this truck, and also high performance driving or high speed driving. This truck can swallow up a lot of terrain, so I think there's a lot of goodness built into this truck. I'm sorry, I don't have the price for it. General Motors hasn't released, Chevy hasn't said what the price is on this. My guess, this is me speaking, Andre, my guess it will start at $59,999 or maybe $61,999, but I think it'll be around $60,000 to start. I think you'll be able to add a couple options to it potentially to make it a little bit, you know, personalized for you. But that's just my take. And it's going to be available in a few months. Of course, the world we live in is unpredictable. Some of the factories are shut down because of strikes. So it's still a question, but it should be available for sale soon. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time at alltfl.com.